Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTCGO codes, including the stuff from Lost Origin, make sure you check out the Potown store. You can get a 5% discount on your orders using that code OmniPoke. For today's video, we're going to be looking at the combination of Palkia, VSTAR, and Inteleon. It's been running the format since it was printed in Astral Radiance, and it's continued on into the Lost Origin format, where it's possibly still the strongest deck. It did very well at the Peoria Regional Championships, making the finals, and two others in the top 8, which is insane. The deck can play very flexibly thanks to the Shady Dealings engine. You have defensive and aggressive lines available to you. You can mess around with your damage. You can mess around with your opponent's board as well, thanks to the subspace swell. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. The Origin form Palkia V and V-Star has just come out with a box as well, so if you want to get some cheaper promos, now's a good chance. This guy looks like this, and we'll have a look at the regular V in a moment. But yeah, subspace swell is the sort of key attack on our V-Star, doing 60 plus 20 more for each benched Pokemon, yours and your opponent's. So with the full bench for both, you are maxing out at 260, which is close to dealing with V-Star Pokemon, and thanks to Zig, Quick Shooting, Choice Belt, all this other stuff, you can get things rolling and reach those one-hit KOs, which is really important for you. We also have the Star Portal V-Star Power. You can recover 3 water from your discard pile and put them onto your water Pokemon in any way that you like. It's a great way to cash in on water in the early stages with concealed cards and draw a lot with Greninja, and just see more in the opening stages, because we are a bit of a setup deck, to be honest. And it means we can burst our attackers onto the scene, not just our Palkia, but also the Greninja itself, or our regular V, or even Inteleon. So it really allows us to be versatile with our attacking threats in the opening stages, which is fantastic, and keeps us up on attachments throughout the entire game, which means even though we're a water deck, we only really need to rely on Melony and Raihan like once or twice a game, and that's really it to maintain our attackers, which is amazing to see. So yeah, 3-3 line of the Palkia. The regular V, first of all, the promo looks like this, but also we have that Hydro Break attack, very helpful in matchups where the opponent can keep that limited bench size, like Blissey and Arc Goodra, even Arc Tina can keep lower bench sizes, so having the Hydro Break option is very handy in those instances where you can have that higher threshold. Again, with Quick Shooting or Choice Belt, you can reach KOs on 2 prizes, even if they are limiting their bench, which is a nice thing to bear in mind, certainly. Most of the decks, they do fall into the trap of subspace swell, even if they don't want to put bench Pokemon into play. Manaphy sometimes is forced into play because of Inteleon and Greninja. Mew, Hisuian Zoroark, even Kira and Palkia, these decks can't help really but go wide on the board, and of course mirror matches. So subspace swell is normally doing those higher thresholds, certainly. We have a number of 1 prizes as well to try and skew that prize race and come up with some different threats as well. The Radiant Greninjas and All-Star concealed cards are so important for getting this deck rolling, but also we have that Moonlight Shuriken. Being able to pick off 2 Pokemon with those 2 90 damage hits can be really important at dealing with engine Pokemon like Comphase, opposing Sobbles, even things like BDIF and whatnot can be picked off very nicely with the Moonlight Shuriken, which is just an amazing option to have. It can already set up high hit point Pokemon as well. For example, Kira and VMAX and such can be a huge deal, and forces Manaphy into play at the very least. So it forces people to A, draw well, and B, put more things into play for your subspace, which is again very helpful. We then play a very thick line of the Inteleon. We play a 3-1 split of the Sobbles. 70 hit points is just a little bit of help against Sableye, because you don't want to have 2 60 hit pointers lying around for them to cash in on. But of course, it's a slightly worse lead in the deck, because Keep Calling is still a great option to have, especially when you go second. But then we have 3 Shady Dealing Drizziles, as well as the 2-1 split of Inteleon. Quick Shooting really helps us reach onto those V-Star Pokemon, which is a really big deal here. And even onto Mew these days, because they don't play Fusion anymore, so that's also very helpful. And then we have the Double Dealer with Inteleon, such a big card to have in the deck. I don't really want to ever prize it, and because we play Rare Candy and no Pokemon recovery, I really like the option to have 2 Shady Dealing Inteleons, so we can deal throughout the entire game, even use Scoop Up Nets to reuse that fantastic ability and see all sorts in the deck. It allows us to be very, very flexible in the list of getting sort of defensive cards like Path Roxanne as a combination, really good against Mew and Kiram. It can get us damage modifiers like Horn, Choice Belt, even access to things like Zigzagoon, and making sure our bench is as wide as possible. And of course, it just helps us get set up throughout the entire game and make sure we're not missing a beat, can cherry pick supporters throughout the entire game. Really an integral part of the list. Just to add to our basic Pokemon count in part, but also because they do function quite well, the Zigzagoon is a great way to just, again, manipulate those damage counters, make sure we're reaching, and the Manaphy is important for opposing Greninjas that can come in the Mirror, in Kyurem, in Mirage Gate, Lost Zone decks like Giratina as well, so that's always important. For our Ball Search, we've got a couple quick, couple level, as well as 3 Incense, as well as the VIP pass. We are VIP gaming. I think it's just too important to get stuff on the scene, especially Greninja, and like starting to throw away water energy is such an important combination for the deck, so we get the most out of Star Portal early. It's just too important to not have in the list, really. The Quick Balls also function as helping us get rid of VIP passes throughout the game as well, so just a small note to have there. We have cross switches because we are very focused on Irida here. So with Irida and Deal, we have so many ways of doing item-based Gust, which is very handy in the list, and it's our only real form of switching if need be, as well as the nets for the one prize stuff. Like I said, I like the Rare Candy right now. I really think Aqua Bullet's a fantastic option. Keeping the opponent on odd prizes is really annoying for a number of decks. If you can try and do that and force it, as well as the 120 being very good at knocking out one prizes on the opponent's side of the field, as well as that 20 damage poke getting your Palkia in range. So I really do like leaning into that Aqua Bullet whenever possible. And you can springboard it quite nicely from Irida. You can just go Candy, Intel, or you can Raihan for the pieces as well, and it can really work out great. We play our own path, like I said, for defensive plays. The Training Court's kind of the best one for our own Greninja, though. And because we play the Shady Deal, we can play lots of one-off supporters. I like the Raihan, again, combined by the fact that we play Rare Candy, allows us to use the Greninja and Inteleon that little bit more, which is great. I'm currently playing Big Charm as my sort of defensive tool. You could think about adding in 2 belts these days. I think there's so much racing going on with Mew and Zoroark and whatnot. I actually think double belt is like not the worst thing in the world. But I really do like Big Charm to help out, specifically against Giratina, which I respect a lot right now in the format. So trying to stay out of range of Giratina, or at least force their vacuum, is a really big deal. It can also help out against the Charizard deck now as well, where you can Roxanne Path and try and Big Charm as well, catch them unawares, where they possibly have only Sableye 30 onto your guy. To put the Charizard in range, you can Big Charm your way out of that zone as well. So I kind of like it, especially in closed deck list. I feel like it can put in a big shift. There are tons of cards, Palkia's been around for a while, that could come into the 60. Like Capture Energy is very reasonable. Crobat and Luminion Vs are both very reasonable coming into the list. Even Ultra Ball, instead of like one of these incenses for extra outs to basics, is very okay. Things like Palpad, Ordinary Rod, they've all been experimented with Palkia Intel at this point. But yeah, there's just so many options for the decks. It's been around for a long time. But this is where I'm at with it right now. Fairly teched out, because I feel like Big Charm's a bit of a tech, but not the most over the top. Even things like Cancelling Cologne can come into the 60. I think a big card that I'm not playing is Hisuian Heavy Ball, and it is a risk when we prize Greninja or prize Manaphy in certain spots that can make us play a little bit differently. So that's a card that could easily come in if you don't like any of the tech cards that we're including right now. We are going second with a really slow hand, actually, and we are up against Arc Goodra by the looks of things, which is a harder matchup for us, certainly. But they play Echoing Horn, so maybe it's Duraludon. Horn doesn't really make much sense against, or if it's Goodra, right? Only really makes sense if it's Duraludon. I would lead Sobble, but I don't even have access to Water Energy. So I think I've got to lead the Palkia, because that can tank Arc hits. If I had Water, I'd certainly go try and keep calling, but the hand is very bad. And if you're familiar with the official streams, you'll know that this can happen to the deck sometimes. Of course. This can happen. That's a real shame that we're not able to protect our Sobble here, but we do have our dudes. That's why I feel like Palkia Inteleon is definitely a better best of 3 deck, because you can pack it up pretty quickly if nothing's really going your way. And if things are going your way, you still have long game plans because you're doing dealy stuff, but I feel like there's still a lot to like about the list. Let's rule the region. I wanted to play one of the incenses. I don't really like getting rid of both, but I think I like Training Court coming to the hand. There's an argument that they just don't have much and I take Path, but I think we just do this. Chorus's Experiment. This is kind of like a new funky thing you can try and do. Rather than researching and putting V Pokemon into your discard pile, you can try and Lost Zone them now instead. They clearly got a good hand because they got rid of Ultra Balls, so they at least have the VSTAR here. And it is Arcdura, and they play Echoing Horn. Very sneaky card that can speed up their win conditions, alongside a boss, of course, but... Lotto, there's all sorts going on here. And it's even hit the DTE, what a dream. Okay. We will just see the Nova. They chose not to Starbirth. Alright, well, we're clearly going to try and hit for as much as possible here. And because our output is so shoddy, I have to just Irida for Palkia level ball here, probably. I guess I already have access to deals. Just thinking if I go Quick Ball, get rid of Incense and get a Greninja, but I don't even have access to water at the minute. No, I think we just keep on the deal train. Could still get rid of Incense though with Quick Ball and keep level balls around. Yeah, I think we do this. It's not great. I'm not gonna pretend it's good. A Hyper Potion would be devastating here. They obviously have their VSTAR power. They can do a lot to slow us down here, to be honest. Our start was pretty poor. And we've gone second. And it's a difficult matchup regardless. I see the switch, so they're bossing. They can Starbirth for boss. Okay, gonna Marnie. I figured it was a good window to boss, but hey. The Marnie's still doing a job on us. Now I feel like I want to deal a lot here. So I'm gonna go here and try and Irida and net this guy when I do a big deal. Okay. Then deal gets me net plus... I was really hoping I could weave in the regular V here and hit for 200 with Big Charm. But I guess that's not happening. I'm always going to grab these two, though. And I'm always going to net the active. But I guess it just means I go belting here. Like belt path, possibly. Path doesn't really make sense. Let's do this. Let's grab our big man. Let's deal. I think it's... Well, it's certainly always net. I think it's just net plus quick. And I make another Palkia here. I have to keep them coming, not just for damage, not just for subspace swell damage, but so that I can Hydro Break finish off this big doofus. Yeah, we're allowed to quick ball this. All right. We're doing what we like to call our best right now. All right. That's not too bad for us. I'm going to boss and take the 2. Okay. Reasonable, for sure. So, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I need to buff the damage. I need to Roxanne. Big Charm on Inteleon is going to be a big play for me as well. I kind of like going that way around. Getting quick shooting in the mix as quickly as possible sounds good. By candying Big Deal and then Roxanning and hoping that I hit off it sounds good. Alternatively, I just take Level Ball and get a Manaphy down. Alright, let's do it like this. I guess a Zig is okay. So that's KO active. I'm always dealing for rocks here. I think it's Rocks Bucket, or even Rocks Stadium Bounce could be good. Rocks Bucket, get my attachment in. Onto Intel. I think whiffing attachment would just be embarrassing, so let's do this. Okay. Levelable proactively. No, it doesn't make sense. Let's swell. We're definitely a little bit of backs against the wall. And they're straight away going to Marnie us, which is a real shame. Ah, they even get V max. I need to horn back this dingbat and try and gust it up and slow them down. So we are needing to draw here. Oh, it's such a terrible, terrible Marnie. Ugh. So bad for us. My goodness. What can I do? I still need to play towards me hitting this Echoing Horn and buying a ton of time. Basically. They do have a ton of energy. What's it open up? Opens up Ultra Ball. Opens up them just attaching here. Yeah, I should deny this. And just hit. So obviously forces to pay retreat and Dura. We're really working towards top deck of Gust out. I'd be pretty devastated if they can Ordinary Rod this turn. I didn't want to reveal my sort of plan, I guess. But there were benefits to just horning immediately. Alright, see a cave. Yep. And just the swing. Okay. So let's go Drizz. And naturally it's just the worst draw in the deck. Alright, so we are taking an L to our... Well, I wouldn't say our worst matchup. One of our harder matchups. Anything that limits the bench and just tries to tank is obviously a difficult matchup for us. I feel like, obviously our start was not great and we went second, so pretty much everything against us there. But that is Palkia Inteleon in a nutshell. Sometimes you just have the wrong part of the deck in your opening hand, and it is a slog from there. We got to deal a lot and like get back into the game, but it was a slow creep to death, right? We were so far away there. We needed a lot of turns, really, to get back into the game. Let's see how it goes with our next one. This hand's looking a lot more playable. We're going first. We have Greninja Bucket, and I have Level Ball even, so that's looking really strong. Going to get the benefit of a Mulligan card as well. So that's awesome. This looks like it's going to be a mirror that plays Thornton. Really have to be aware that they can Thornton at any time. Let's take a card. It's not a great one, but here we are. Ooh, picking up a Sobble's great. Let's have a look. We have our Manaphy, which is great. We have both our dealers. Have all of our cross switchers. We've prized Roxanne. Prized a Drizz as well. Alright, you know the drill. Let's get drawing cards. I'm going to hold the level ball, obviously, because it can convert into Drizzile if I need it to. Now that we hit Drizzile, I can make it a Sobble. I think we just pass here. Star Portal definitely gives us license to greed our energy drops. Gonna see Sobble Bucket from them. Attach and pass. Okay, looks like they're the one bricking today. Let's concealed cards. I think I'm going Irida, Candy, Cross Switchers. Let's take the Sobble out of play. Oh wait, can I just win this turn? What am I doing? I do just have win this turn, right? It's still cross switches, but it's obviously attack with Greninja. Almost through. Well, we put him out of his misery early. His misery was our misery just a few moments ago. Like I say, the deck benefits from a best of 3 than a best of 1 a lot. So let's get another game. That was a much better start though, much more explosive. This time we're going first with Sobble. Not much else. It's kind of the benefit of playing the Candy though, right? Oh, that changes a lot. We're up against the Regi gang. The Regi gang are dangerous, certainly. Let's scout to see if we have our Candy. We prized Candy. Good thing I found this Palkia early on. Alright, so we completely pivot our strategy to this. If I had Candy, my turn is so different, but with no access to it, we'll try and use the Inteleon later. Manaphy is an important card in the matchup as well. I'm going to hold the level ball because, again, or do I want to draw? I guess VIPs are obviously way better, but let's think about this. What's better than drawing Sobble or Drizzile here? I think Buckets, VIP, not enough, I don't think. Let's just concealed. Okay, so higher odds of seeing the more Sobbles means I can deal more next turn, which is nice. And let's just pass. The Regis obviously are dangerous. They have weakness on us with their Aleki. They can one-hit KO with belts. They are often playing a high path count as well, which is a little bit dangerous for us. Limits our draw. I see an early bet from them, so they have research, probably. Yeah. See how many energy they can throw away. Just one, but it is a Aurora. One of the best ones to pitch early. See a shoe from them. There is the path. A Drago coming in early as well. They're going to net into Drago. Try and see some extra cards here. Ultra Ball, really nice. Fortunately, it's not more energy. There's the Aleki belted up already. Capture's gonna get the whole gang ready. And just a pass, okay. So, with Irida double deal, I can go Training Court plus Cross Switcher plus Palkia. I guess I don't need the Cross Switcher because I can net active, so I guess I'm not able to take this guy out. So I guess I just have to go Bucket. Bucket Stadium. I guess it should be Stadium first. And let's see more cards before I decide. That doesn't change much. So it will be just Irida for Bucket plus... I really don't want a VSTAR power just one energy. It's so derpy. Oh, I can... Oh no, I have to net active. Or I can Melony and risk it all. It's such a risky line. Don't like it. Melony would have to hit an outs to water. It's just wrong, isn't it? Okay, let's go for Palkia Buckets. I guess I am allowed to scoop up net here and draw two more because I can attach retreats. So let's still see two more cards. Okay, no dice. I really would have wanted a Manaphy out here. Would have been huge. I'm still going to swing an energy onto Palkia V here, because I can always Raihan for Aqua Bullet as a response if I need to. Melony's harder to weave in because we're dealing with imperfect information. They're really churning through their rods. That's 3 down already. I mean, I have to deal with the Leckies regardless, but it's just something to note. They currently only have 1 Aurora in the bin, so they need to find a way to actually pitch another special energy here to actually attack us with Terra Spark. Speed Lightning helps them get there. Now they just need to hit an out to a Drago. There it is. So the gang is assembled. All right. So do I prefer Marnie plus Big Charm here and attached to Palkia? Yeah, I think I prefer the Marnie play rates. Marnie into Roxanne sounds good. So let's do this. Let's get our Manaphy. I don't even need Manaphy. Let's get another Sobble, because I am Marnieing myself. Let's go here. Force the belt out of them. I think I like just attaching 1 active, then Marnieing. Let's concealed, see a couple more cards. Quick shooting's interesting. I can start setting stuff up for bullets. But I can do that next turn as well, and I want the incense to be open. But getting prep damage on this sort of stuff is handy. Oh, I can always do it next turn. Oh, but if I do get Marnied, it does suck, so let's prep this guy. And let's just subspace. So now we're forcing another Alecki plus belt. If it does come, we can then lead into a Roxanne. Oh no, I can't lead into Roxanne because I have to Raihan next turn. So it would be a Raihan deal with the Alecki into a Roxanne the following turn. Right, so there's a capture. So Alecki's back. Oh, that's the wrong Alecki. So I'm allowed to... So I'm not getting KO'd this turn? Insane. That's really big for us. They're going to continue to shoo. So they're going to Regi it, yeah. Ah, they also Marnie us away. The hand was so good at dealing with this board state, because I could cross-switcher my way out of the Regi. Alright, they're just gonna Blizzard Bind for 100, and I cannot attack next turn. Oh, it's tantalizing. This evolution punishing me. Boss pass sounds awful. They are down 4 nets though. So it means they could only hit me with Blizzard Bind again. Which is okay, actually, because then I'm allowed to Cross Switcher next turn with deals. So the boss is actually kind of fine here. So let's just bring up this one. Ping this one. And I'm not allowed to do anything. Alright, so we're trying to buy time. We're trying to buy time. They can pay retreat and Blizzard Bind again, and I'm hoping that's all they can do. Yep, it's going active. Yep. Okay. Water Energy is a huge draw. Okay, that's actually huge. So now I just go switches. Irida... I should thin Irida because I don't want to draw it, right? And let's set up the ice. So our main hope is that because they're 3 rods down and double a Lecky, we can try and capitalize on that. That's kind of the hope here. Of course, they can just get back to a Lecky and still see their way through the game, but I don't have many other players here. They haven't played a boss yet, which is obviously scary. A boss this turn would be quite devastating. The Marnie was just so well timed from them. There's a twin to Gigas. Okay. And they're rolling the dice again. You love to see it. That means we get a fresh hand, because ours was pants. Oh, ours is still somehow pants. Oh, they hit their last rod. Tell me they don't hit search card as well. Okay. Whew. Right, Roxanne's actually pretty handy for us too. We're going to keep getting our guys ready to rumble. Quick ball, not great. I'm forced into Raihan next turn, but I have no way of doing that at the moment. Oh, I guess I could Roxanne and hit with the VSTAR. Yeah, that's fine too. They've got one twin in the discard pile, so I don't think they can just manually attach to a Regi here. I think they just have to find Ice and Aleki, and they didn't have a way to find any Pokemon last turn. They could still have their last research. They could still have a Mani. Alright, so they drew Quick Ball for turn. And they got rid of a research, so we know their hand's good now. They're going to grab a Aleki. Are they spinning the wheel with Mani again? Oh, they have a capture. What was better than research? 2 cards that are better than research? As many as 2 cards? Okay. Well, we're gonna be able to swing with Palkia. So I basically just need to be able to hit Raihan, right? Because that's the most important card in the world for me right now. Next turn, obviously. Didn't hit Raihan. Uh-oh. These don't do anything. Don't tell me it's like this. Oh, I definitely... This is the one thing I don't ping. Say it ain't so. Oh, we even rolled the 50-50, so if I had Quick Ball Palkia, I could have Melony'd. Oh no, but I only have one. I don't have any energy in the deck, so the Melony doesn't change anything. Okay. They go active with Drago. Do you see Hisuian? Just to burn. Pokestop doesn't change anything for me. There's a speed. Oh boy. Oh my goodness, they're Maniing us. We have a chance to hit Raihan. Oh. Oh. We made it. We made it! What a crazy game. Bailed out by Raihan twice from them. Sorry, by Mani twice from them. Sheesh. Just about. Talk about a sweat. We got through it, though. we got through it. Just about. Close game for sure. It says victory, but that was from the jaws of defeat. Yeah, that's some Palkia Inteleon. You can see it's shaky at times. It's a real headache to play because it's just options galore. I'll be honest, I don't play much Palkia Inteleon. A, because I really... I hate a deck that can just flop so much turn one. But in best of 3, it genuinely works. Like, the data is there that it's one of the strongest decks in the game, certainly. And when you are in the game, you do have so many answers for so much in the game. You can see why it does so well. So, yeah, that is my Palkia Inteleon right now. I think if you want to cut down on some greed, I think the Big Charm is definitely like a Tina tech that you could remove. That could become an extra Irida, an extra Bucket, a Hisuian Heavy. Outside of that, I'm pretty happy with the 60, honestly. You could change Incense to Quick Ball and then work in like a Crobat. You could go to one big deal and play like Bat as well. Those are the main things, my sort of takeaways with the list. But yeah, it's a powerful archetype, still doing well, still strong in Lost Origin, and I've just got my promos, so I can play it in paper as well. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for another video. Cheers.